Rachel Stringer, good to see you. How are you and how have you been keeping?
Yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, all good, like busy and excited to be here and get started. This is a long time in the making. I think, yeah, I had a call about it in October last year and now, we're finally here, so it's exciting.
Let's talk about your journey supporting Forest. How did it initially come about?
My journey initially came about, as most kind of love affairs with football does, through your parents. So my dad's family are all from Nottingham. So my nana's nana was from Bulwell. So dad would kind of go up as a 5 or 6 year old, get dropped off by his nana to come watch this. And he was like, oh, I used to stand in the standing end, and he said he'd pay 2 pennies. That's how old. I'm talking 60s here. And then it was just the done thing to support who your dad did growing up. My mum was more of a Spurs fan, and that was never in the picture. So my sister, myself, my brother were all Forest fans, yeah, from an early age through my dad's side of the family.
Can you remember your first Forest game and whereabouts were you in the stadium?
Wasn't here, guys, I'm really sorry. So I grew up in Norwich, so I always used to go away at Carrow Road. And I was chatting with my dad about this. I was like, I bet you're going to ask me my first game. Come on, let's go back to yesteryear. And we were saying 1999, so should I show my age? I would have been 9. Actually, I might have been 8 because I think it was in the Christmas time of that. Shall I tell you the score? Mm-hmm. We lost as well. But so Carrow Road, I had a lot of memories growing up, kind of more going to away matches. So we go to Ipswich a lot. QPR, for some reason, we'd always end up at. Millwall, why did my dad take me there? I have no idea, but he used to a lot. Yeah, so we used to come to the City Ground more on Boxing Day matches. That was all a real special treat. And I remember always sitting in the family end with always a tartan rug over my legs. Mum must have thought I was quite cold. So a lot of kind of Boxing Day family occasions here, which was always pretty special. I definitely got some pictures in tartan rugs, which I can pick out for you.
Can you remember your first Forest shirt?
Oh.
Or does a particular favourite one come to mind?
Oh God, that's probably testing me now. I'm never going to know what the sponsors are on it. I'm going to say it was probably about probably our bad era of probably League One kind of time, 2005, 6-ish. I remember being at home and I think my dad gave me it as an Easter egg hunt. So we had an Easter egg hunt around the garden, and in the egg, they'd taken the egg out and we got Forest shirts. Wow. So me and my brother were hunting for Forest shirts. So I would have been kind of early teens, whatever there. So that's what, yeah, we used to do. Oh no, I would have been younger than that. But yeah, it was Easter egg hunting and we used to get Forest shirts in them, which was quite a cool treat.
That's amazing. I need to start doing that, I think.
Got a picture of that as well.
In terms of meeting Forest players, past and present, have you sort of had any encounters?
Yeah, I remember not for some reason, I was always obsessed with Marlon Harewood growing up. He was kind of my era, I guess, of Forest player. And I think coming here, again, I've got a picture at the side, being a geek, oh, Marlon, can I have a picture? So yeah, I remember kind of coming and having a picture with him. I always see Stuart Pearce in work situations and can never go up to him and say I'm a Forest fan. I really want to, but I feel like that would mean I'm a fan and not being a broadcaster in that situation. But I think wherever you go as a Forest fan, he's your cult hero. And especially when he came over as a manager, I think that was so special to kind of have him in that capacity. So they're the two that I kind of look back to growing up. One I didn't particularly see playing, but one I did very much so. You know about the famous Forest atmosphere here. Does any sort of songs come to mind when you sort of look back on your time supporting the Reds? I mean, whenever I kind of say I'm going to watch a match to my now fiance, I always just go, Reds! He's like, oh my God, you're such a yob. Or I just start saying, well, we're magic, aren't we? So, I mean, I think whenever you think of that when you come here, it's just that deafening chant the whole time. So coming here and listening to any songs, probably more of the manager ones from yesteryear come to mind more so, but I probably can't say those right now. But yeah, it's just a super special place to come. Did you have or do you have any sort of match day rituals? Match day rituals, like I said, it's more kind of going, I guess, to away matches, and that's, for me, that was always lovely, taking different people, especially when I was living in London. I remember it was a Valentine's Day, and me and my best mate, who's a guy, were single. I was like, what should we do? I was like, let's go and watch Forest. And he's actually from Gran Canaria. So Las Palmas were his team, and I'd been over there to watch them with him. And I said, let's go and watch Forest. And I was like, really? I was like, I mean, you can get a ticket. And it was actually Millwall away, and it was disgusting. It was raining, horrible night, obviously, in February. And I took him, and I was like, oh, just come watch my team. Like, you know, you'll have a great night. And that's the kind of thing I think is great about actually when they're in the Championship. You could take them and go and, you know, get tickets for any match you wanted. But it's special for me and my dad. We come a lot together now. I kind of, whenever I'm going, he'll come with me. So it's a kind of a daughter, father, you know, day out. But not really rituals, just let's go to Forest, like pack up wherever we are. And yeah, so living in obviously London or Norwich was never like close to here. So it was always a big occasion to especially come to the City Ground.
Obviously Forest were outside the top flight for 23 years. So to see them now back in the Premier League, as a supporter yourself, it must be a dream come true.
Yeah, it's genuinely never thought it would happen. Like, not in my lifetime, because I'm not that old, but it's one of those things that for so many years you get so close as well. Like the pandemic year, you kind of really thought we were on the cusp of going up then. That didn't happen, and there's absolute moments of complete magic. You know, being in the top, I think it was actually top 6 or something just before Christmas a couple of years ago. You thought, oh, we're going to go up that year, and you just don't. And yeah, I think even when we did go up, I don't think it was till the very end that you thought, you know, in the kind of first and second leg against Sheffield, you didn't really believe it, and then you had to go to penalties, and it was just, yeah, knowing Forest, you were always thinking, oh, it's not going to happen, you know. So it was pretty special. And then, yeah, going to the playoff final, I actually took my mum and dad and my partner. It was so cool. Like, just, you had to be there. It was one of those moments in, you know, your life that you might never get again, to go to Wembley. And that is one of the biggest games of football, period. You know, you talk about kind of Champions League finals, FA Cup finals, that, to get up to the Premier League is something special. And I have quite actually a lot of Huddersfield fans, friends, and they're like, oh, you know, in the other side, kind of cheering me on. And I was like, well, you know, this is pretty cool. That was a day that, yeah, I don't think we'll ever forget. And to be there with kind of my dad, who's brought me into this kind of Forest family, was pretty cool as well.
We've seen how tough the Premier League is and can be, but we've also shown signs that we belong here, haven't we?
Yeah, especially here, especially at home. I mean, at home we are a completely different beast and a force to be reckoned with. You know, we've still got a few more games. I think there's getting less and less as we speak, but we all believe we're going to stay up, of course. And the squad that we have, you know, we've obviously brought so many different players in this year. I think from that, you know, in itself, we deserve to stay up. And I think we're a club that needs to be in the Premier League. So many people, when you go around the world, I was in America just before Christmas, and this guy came up to me and was like, I follow you on Twitter. And I was like, why? He was like, because you're a Forest fan, aren't you? I was like, yeah, that's really weird. And he gave me some Forest stickers. I don't know, but that's what kind of Forest does. You go around the world and you find kind of Forest fans, and for that reason alone, because our fans are truly global, I think we deserve to be in the Premier League.
Have you still got the stickers?
Yeah, they're in my backpack. I actually didn't bring my backpack today, but I have, because I was going to put them on my laptop, but I'm getting a new laptop, so they're posed to not be wasted.
Love it. And finally, how excited are you to be sort of involved in the podcast now?
Yeah, super excited. I mean, just going to hopefully do it justice and ask. I think that's the most important thing about the podcast. You want to ask the questions that you don't really usually get the answers to. So I've been kind of doing a lot of research into the players and trying to find bits that people do not know about them, so that we can have a complete deep dive into them, and they go away going, oh, this person does this in their spare time, or, you know, wants to do this when they finish a career. So that's what I'm really excited about. And yeah, hopefully bringing the players and the people who make this club really special to life in a different light.
And I must mention, you have a Rubik's Cube with you. Yeah. Does that hint at who might be on the guest list soon?
Possibly. It does. If you guys know anything about Rubik's Cubes and players here who enjoy doing them, actually it's most players now. So actually it's not as easy as you asked for. But yeah, I thought I'd come slightly prepared. I'd like to have completed it. I can only do one layer. That's the white layer. Doesn't look like I can from this, but I actually did send a picture to our little WhatsApp saying, look, I've achieved the white a couple of days ago. So yeah, we have some really cool guests on. First one, not naming any names, you might have guessed. Yeah, so hopefully we're going to get to speak to the whole kind of Forest roster, other people around the club who make it such a cool club to be a part of, and hopefully past players and maybe some super fans as well. Yeah, we have a big hit list, so hopefully going to tick off as many this season and for season to come as well.